So how do you know if your improper posture, your misalignments are permanent or not? So there's many people that come in to see me and they have back pain and they're leaning like this. Okay? Or their neck is, they're not able to turn their neck. They're inflexible, for example. How do you know if that's permanent or not? Well, let me just tell you this. If you are leaning like this and you weren't leaning like that prior to pain, that's called antalgic posture. That's basically incorrect or improper posture due to pain. You're leaning like that because you're in pain. Okay? So just think of it this way. If you ever sprain your ankle or injure your foot, you naturally can't put weight on this foot. So you're going to put your weight on the other foot. And you're maybe going to put the foot in front of you that is injured, so that as you move forward, right, you're not actually putting as much weight on it, and you're putting the weight on the other leg. Okay, this is antalgic posture. So just so you know, this is not permanent, because once the pain goes away, your body is going to naturally just straighten again. And you'll be able to walk on both feet equally again with a foot injury. Does that make sense? So the other way to know is if when you did an x-ray, you were in pain and you're leaning like this, again, you're not going to know if that was the way you always are unless you x-ray yourself when you're no longer in pain. If you're on x-ray leaning when you're in pain, and then when you do an x-ray and when you're no longer in pain and it straightens, again, you know that it's not a permanent thing, it's a temporary antalgic posture. Okay, same with stiffness. So how do you know if this is a permanent thing or if it's just temporary? Again, on x-ray, if your spine is calcified, if it's in what we call phase 4, some call it phase 3 of degeneration or decay, where the vertebrae have actually fused together, that's permanent. So if your chiropractor is trying to treat your neck and they're not able to get a release, and on x-ray it shows that the bones are fused together, that's permanent, unfortunately. But if you're just really stiff and the chiropractor is not able to get a release and there's no fusion on x-ray, it's temporary. You will loosen up and your posture will change. Okay, guys, so just remember that if you're leaning, if you're off center, and this happened during the time that the pain started, shortly before the pain, or immediately when the pain started to kick in, or when the pain started to peak, then you know that your improper posture is not permanent. You may feel like you're old or getting old. I know 25-year-old youngsters that have said, oh my God, I feel like I'm old. Yeah, you're not actually old. Your spine is not old. Your spine is not aged. But you're in pain and in an improper posture that makes you feel like you're old. Okay? So be patient with yourself. Once you get at the root of the problem and you pull and the pain pulls away, then your posture should correct. All right? If when you're completely pain-free, you stay in this improper posture, for example, or the level of flexibility doesn't improve, then it's quite possible that there could be some degeneration in the spine that's limiting your movement. There could be some degeneration in the spine in terms of misalignments that's causing you to take on this posture. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Don't freak out. And sometimes as chiropractors, when it's non-traumatic, we don't need to do an x-ray. We can actually fix you up first, bring flexibility into the spine, and once you're pain-free, if you completely straighten, fantastic. And at that point, when you're feeling a little better, you may want to go in and do an x-ray or MRI and just kind of see where you stand in terms of degeneration, in terms of alignment. All right? See you next time.